It's that time of year again for the annual maintenance on the wood-sided building out here. You know, the kind of annual maintenance you do every 3 to 5 years. So I've been touching up all those seams to keep the water out, and nails I pound in and cover up the holes and so on. The windows have to be recalked. I started this one, or these two, yesterday. I need to add a little more to these two, that one and this one. A little touch up there, a little touch up there, did a little touch up over here on the back side, and then I came to this window. There was a rusty nail like this over here, so I tried to pound it in. I was just going to cover it up with caulking, and I wasn't so lucky here. This is all rotted out, and it's pretty ugly over here. There's been a little bit of leakage here, a little bit here, a little bit there, and a lot over here in the corner. So what do we do when we find a problem like this? We go to YouTube, right? There's some stuff. It's due tomorrow sometime. Some epoxy liquid stuff, and also some putty I'm going to use to try to repair this all along here. I hope it works. I think it will. It worked on YouTube for other people. And by the way, for areas like this, or at least up here, I scraped all the old stuff out. So this is all fresh polyurethane sealant. I think over here and over here, I just kind of added a layer. This stuff is really sticky. It's paintable. I may touch this up right now. If I'm successful on that repair over there on that backside window, I'm going to try to get some repair work for some of this area too. I'm going to drill holes and inject that two-part epoxy in there. See if it'll firm this up. I found out that these wood-sided buildings, that siding is supposed to be like 6 inches off of the above the concrete, and mine is what, 1.5 inches, 2 inches? It's not ideal. I was going to go do my wood rot repair, but these things are really tiny. They call it 6 fluid ounces. I don't know if this is enough to do the repair. This kit costs $50. It's got these two part A and B liquids. I think I have enough liquid here. It's this part that I don't think I have enough. So I think I'm going to see if I can return this and buy a bigger kit. I need to use that 2-part wood epoxy to fix this piece and turn that back over so nobody gets stabbed. I have to dig all this out. It's all sucked in right here. It's going to take a lot of that material to fill this in, and then I got a bunch of small spots I'm going to have to repair. So I think I'm just going to go order the bigger kit, which costs like $150. The small wood epoxy repair kit has been returned, and I have the big one here. This should do what I need it to do. But I'm having second thoughts about using that because I repaired it. I'm glad I put that thing up because it rained quite heavily last night. But here's the reason we are here today. I'm going to scrape a bunch of this stuff out and then mix up some magic stuff out of this yellow box. Yikes. I'm hoping the liquid stuff will go down in there and soak in and solidify a lot of this area, I hope. reusable latex paint. I cleaned all this out. I blew it out. Gotta scrape this off, but that can wait. I'm gonna mix up some of the liquid epoxy and put it in here. I don't know what to do about this. This tar paper should be under there and coming down, and it's gone. So I may shove a piece of plastic up under the lip of the window and hope that works like it should. Tape is supposed to capture the drips that come down through here on both sides. Hope that works. Supposed to mix equal parts of part A and part B liquid. And mix for 1 minute. Now we let this sit for 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to start in my worst spot over here first. Making a big mess. I just finished painting that 4 ounces of liquid epoxy on here. I mixed up another 3 ounces so I can do a second coat. I can see that way down in there I see some dry stuff. I almost forgot about the trim piece that needs to go back on there. I think I'm done with the liquid part of this. I saturated the end of this part and that end. Put more in here and more all along here. There's all the scrapings. Now we go to the silly putty part. I'm supposed to be able to put that stuff on while that liquid epoxy is still wet. I take equal parts of each of these and mix them together. Equal? Looks pretty equal. These gloves are too small for me. To mix it until it's one solid color. It's near impossible for me to do the camera and do this putty part at the same time because my hands get all gunked up and I can't turn the camera on and off. But that's how far the first batch got me. I need to mix up a little bit more of the liquid stuff because I'm going to use it to smear on here so I can smooth that out a little bit to have a little bit less sanding. I'm going to have to mix up a bigger batch for over here. Here's another batch of putty Bondo. I don't know if this plastic piece in here is going to do me more bad than good. Bye-bye. Here's another batch. I'm going to see if I can smooth that stuff out and if there's enough to go all the way across. I think I'm going to have to mix up another batch. You get the idea when I keep playing around with it. Here's your update. I'm getting there. I need to mix up some more wood putty for here and over here. This is actually sucked way in over here. And I'm putting too much wet stuff on there and it's thinning out too much. This side looks pretty good. Here's my update. I think I'm going to have to leave it. I'm going to have to sand it, and then if there might be a few low spots, I think I'm going to use caulk to fill it in. But that's it till it dries and I come out and sand it. Except I got to finish this piece. I got to mix up one more batch. This end is done. There you go. That's what it looks like after about 4 hours of Ken's Garage cheap labor. I think it'll work. I hope it works. Just need to let it cure and then sand it and then put the trim piece back on with, I think, a lot of polyurethane caulk sealant so it doesn't leak through there again. Bonus footage: when your RV CO2 propane alarm is blinking like that and making that sound every minute or so, it needs to be replaced. But for now, it's fixed. I did order a new one. It is the next day, and check it out. This stuff is very, very hard. It's cured up very nicely. I wish I would have thought a little bit more when I covered up this groove here. I may have to chip some of that out. Now I get to see how this stuff sands. I may get my belt sander out. This is a brand new piece of 100 grit. I think I'll be here all day at this rate. So I'm going to go to 60 grit. And here's a piece of 60 grit. Definitely better, but I think I need to get the heavy artillery out. Sadly, I don't have any replacement belts for this thing. Nice. That's definitely the way to go. I left this nail here to get a height reference. Looks like that's working out pretty good. Got quite a bit more sanding to do over here. That'll work. I'm going to bring this groove back. This area has taken a lot, quite a bit, of hand sanding, but I'm getting there. This area was the worst area. It was all sucked in right here. I think with a lot of caulking and sealing in here, when I put the trim piece on here, it's going to be all fixed up. It's looking good. This is the worst side. Getting there. Gotta shorten this thing a little tiny bit more or take some of that material out. I was gonna flip this piece of trim over and put this used side on the bottom and use this nicer side on the top, but this thing is that much bowed. First, I'm going to scrape all of this stuff out so I can redo it. Scrape all this off. I made quite a bit of sanding dust, sanding that stuff off. Look at that. That's where I'm leaving it for today. Put a little paint on there, so when I put the piece of wood on there, it'll be easy. I can just paint the white. I stopped the caulk removal here because this stuff is really, really stuck in there good. This side I pulled a little bit more out. And I think I'm going to inject some of that liquid stuff in here. Drill some 1/8 inch holes at an angle down to strengthen that piece of wood. This stuff really is quite hard. Interesting stuff. I drilled new holes in this thing and caulked the old holes. They're going to need another layer of caulk. The top and the back have been primered. This paint is dry. Alright, got the polyurethane caulk. This is my second layer. I don't think I can have too much. I have a massive thick bead up here and some stainless steel screws ready to go. That's looking good. One screw stripped out. This stuff is very hard to work with, this polyurethane caulk. There we go. I had just enough caulk to go up to the top there. Put a nice layer of stuff coming down here. This has a very thick layer. And I recalked this one going up. I kind of want to put a little bit more up in there. I have a teeny bit more, but this stuff, it's out in the sun and it's skinning over really quick. So I'll add a little bit more caulk tomorrow. Then I need some touch-up paint. I gotta fix that one stripped out screw, but it's I would say watertight at this point. Fixed. I moved that hole over to there. One of the most amazing things about today is, with all this caulking and stuff, I wore a really fancy shirt, black. I didn't get anything on it.